Hi, guys. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show, the show that is not for entertainment purposes. We are live. See, despite all the challenges and stresses of this world that try to stop us, keep us down, and drive us crazy, we are live. And today we're going to be talking about some more. We talked about it a little bit before, but Roxy here has been hound dogging it down the Ingersoll Lockwood uh, rabbit hole, which would probably be appropriate
Yeah.
for quite a while now. And she's going to share with us a lot of what she's come to understand about that. Guys, I don't see anybody complaining about the audio, so it must be sounding pretty good. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm
So
not
it,
seeing any audio complaints.
yeah. Um, so first off, I'd like to say thank you for everybody here. Miss Kim's here. Roxy is here. Her little icon that she normally loads won't quite work today, so we're continuing to have issues because we're trying to do other things. So we're trying to grow it still, trying to make things work better. So, make long story short, Roxy's here, and you can see her normal icon there on the screen now. But she's going to be sharing with us a lot of details on the Ingersoll Lockwood rabbit hole, and it's deeper than you can even imagine. I mean, it's insane. Uh,
This is
and
a daily dig for me.
yeah, but before we get driving into it here, I want to say thank you to Super Dave 44. Thank you to Mike Smith, our supernatural moderators that are in the chat with y'all guys. And of course, Miss Kim is in there along with Roxy and me, some as well. And so thank y'all guys for your comments and thank y'all guys for being here. So, as you can see on your screen, Roxy has Ingersoll Lockwood up and she's going to give us a little update as to what she's been seeing or is seeing and so on. And we'd like to hear from y'all guys in the comments too, like what your thoughts are, what you know about it, what you think everybody should know. Please put it in the comments so that way
And if
we
you
can,
by chance came here from my TikTok page, let us know.
yeah, yeah, because there's a whole phenomenon of that too, which I'll let Roxy decide what she wants to share.
Well, I posted one TikTok on Ingersoll Lockwood and it's at like 35,000 views and climbing. A few minutes ago, I posted one that we were going to decode today and it's blowing up too. So, um, my thing with this came probably 8 months ago, a year. Down at the very bottom of their page, right here, there used to be a little white rabbit. Well, the little white rabbit's not there. He disappeared July 4th. There's a trick to this page, though. This page looks like a normal website page with pages that you click on. What you're not seeing is what you're supposed to see. Okay, just like I'm gonna do the first one. When you come down through this, you take your mouse and you just kind of slowly go across the words. Oh, see there? Look, America changed. When you click on America, it will bring you up a web page for DEF CON for Wikipedia. That's just one of them. Well, as you go along, look, the period in pride changes as well.
And we know
Open
that
it.
I know she showed some of this a little bit before, but she's going to get into more in depth as well. So if you've seen her
Yeah,
stuff a
I'm
little
just
bit,
showing you. I found new ways that there's stuff on there too.
so
There's
go
a
ahead.
trick to this. I was just clicking on links that I could find that were clickable. Like here, the 1717's clickable. And if you'll notice right here, it now says City of Washington, not Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
But see
it's
this
not
right here?
not on the maps anymore either. It's DC.
Yeah, it's all gone.
It's changed to City of Washington, And 1717 Pennsylvania is walking distance to the White House.
Well, and there's a whole nother trick I discovered the other day. There's a lot of this stuff in here, like USA is clickable. All of this stuff takes you to different documents, different websites. Some of them are spreadsheets. But then the other day, it happened quite by accident when I figured it out. You take and click and you drag. Oh, look at there. There's a whole new word there. Go for launch. You can't see some of this stuff until you click and highlight the page. Then it becomes a clickable link. But not only do you have to pay attention to where it takes you and what that information is, you have to pay attention to the URL it sends you with. This one is actually a picture of a young man, and his name tag says Enoch, like as in the book of Enoch, which is actually on this page, a PDF description of the thing of the book of Enoch. The white rabbit's missing, but it's another one of these. If you click and drag, there's still something there. When you this one is one, it takes you to Amazon. This is a book series called The Rain Savers, written by S.G. Samuels. S.G. Samuels is the CEO of Ingersoll Lockwood. Now, when you clicked Opt Me In, it's a mailing list. That's not an automated email, folks. I have proof. Well, I don't know if we're going to get into that today or not, but anyway.
You can go wherever you
there's
want to
lots.
go, I think.
Well, this takes us to all kind of places, and which I don't know why, but it doesn't show it down here at the bottom when I pull up the actual thing. Hang on. All right, there's lots of links on here. They take you, see, some of this stuff just takes you to the Small Business Administration, DARPA, DHS. There's nothing fantastic in any of those that we didn't already know. But see, like the ET, think about that. The ET in etc. takes you to a web page that takes you to the 2022 Annual Report on Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. This is a document that is 12 pages long. You can go through said document and read, which I have already done. We're not going to go through that. It's just telling you about how many reports they've had, what they're doing about them. This is kind of something you could get from Freedom of Information. The C also lights up. This one is a unique link, I think. Yeah, this takes you to All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. This is more of the UAP reporting. Let's see. Where are we at? Up here. The C in case. All right, this is the one. C in case. This will take you to a Google Earth link. I have proven this back to myself, and me and Shannon went through this. See if it'll take me. It actually takes us to a spot in Antarctica.
Speaking of Shannon, I think we forgot to send her.
That takes you to a spot in Antarctica that looks like a cave opening. But if you put in the coordinates directly into Google Earth, that is not the same picture that you get. You just get this white snowed over rock. When you click on it from here, you actually see it looks like a domed cave opening. Let's see. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to miss any of them. There's several of them. They're all through here. 1717 Pennsylvania. Let me get this to open because I want to look at the link, the web address. Okay, see up here at the top in the web address, 41020, lights on green for go. Where we go one, we go all. Well, 4 is the fourth letter of the alphabet, D. 10 is J. 20 is T. That says question. IL, Ingersoll Lockwood, equals 4, 10, 20. Ingersoll Lockwood equals DJT. Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest, City of Washington, USA. USA. This is another one of this. It's going to have to verify you're human. These things, there is a spreadsheet on here for all. This is one of the songs. That takes you to a song about marching forward. As you can see down on the bottom of my screen, after you've been here more than once, there's an actual radio player that pops up with a whole playlist of swing music. You look at the titles of the songs over here. 1717. Well, if you'll notice, when you're over here, I might have to close it. Oh, well, sorry.
You killed your window.
When you're down here, you see 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is a block from the White House. The 17th letter in the alphabet is Q. Now, if you want to go look up something, 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue seems to be like a mailboxes and etc. or a UPS mailing center, so to speak. It's like a corporate mailing. Go look at how many things you can find that get mail sent to 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue. You'll find some very interesting companies in that company. But right here after the zip code, see it lights up? That's because there's more behind it. When you click on the 5500, this one takes you to a fact sheet about the emergency at the southern border. Alien Americans. This one is a YouTube video, but again, it says Q, and I'm looking at the web address. You guys can't see it. Let me see if I can open it up here so you can see it. There we go. We're not going to play the movie. I've already watched this. You got to love commercials. You just got to love commercials on YouTube. Skip it. And it's not going to show it now. When you first put in the web address, it gives you, I have to read it out. A of America. It says Q equals IL 1717 movie credits to 4547. 4547 refers to Trump's presidencies. Notice right here it says the year is 2025/5785. 5785 refers to before they switched our calendar, what our actual year would be. You want to explain that one, Daniel?
I'm sorry, I was looking into Ingersoll.
You zoned out over there on me, aren't you?
A little bit, because I was looking into how many visitors IngersollLockwood.com gets per month, and how many unique visitors they get. But let me try to answer your question. What were you saying? I'm looking at the screen.
It says the year is 2025/5785, which would be if they had not converted our calendar.
5785, I think that's a Jewish calendar, ain't it?
I'm not sure which calendar that is.
I think that's the I can't think of the name of it right at the moment, but it's the Jewish count, the Jewish calendar year.
Okay,
I think that's what it is.
And I found a new one today, guys, and we'll get into it in just a second. These are links. I've been down all these rabbit holes for a minute. This one is on that. I'm not even going to say the word out loud because we know what that'll trigger. But this is a report. This subject matter on the screen there's quite a few of them on here. And there's one of them that blatantly tells you where it was leaked from, who was behind it, why they leaked it, what the whole 9 yards was about it. I don't understand. This is a whole bunch of like truth dump. I've never seen this much truth come out of one thing before.
I think
Uh,
I'm still in the position, if I'm being honest, I'm still in the position of that. Yeah, there is a lot of truth here, but I believe,
there's a lot of disclosure of something.
yeah, yeah, disclosure of a lot of different things. But I have to ask, one, I have to ask why. And we did a video back probably 2 to 3 months ago now where I said truth. The name of the video or live show was Truth Weaponized. And the reason one of the reasons you can release a lot of truth about a current, whether it be a person or an organization or a country or whatever, is because you want to destroy the credibility of that person, that country, or that organization. And sometimes the reason why someone might want to destroy credibility is because they want to do a hostile takeover. They want to drive the stock down. They want to drive down the trustworthiness in it. They want to almost destroy it. Not quite, because you want to do a hostile takeover. So if you look at that from this, if you look at this from that perspective, and I relate it back to a lot of the other things that I've talked about before, in that they you have to burn it down before you can build it back. Now,
Absolutely.
this is only my opinion and how my mind works. But the only way to burn it down is to disclose a limited, controlled amount of information that will discredit the person, the country, or the organization, to the point where they are the public as a whole no longer believes in it anymore. And so therefore the hostile takeover, or a better word instead of using hostile takeover, I guess would be, if you wanted to go from having the United States and you wanted to get rid of DC and you wanted to get rid of the current governing system, you have to discredit it. You have to burn it down before you can offer the solution. And I would suspect, if there's not already a solution, maybe even on this website, being offered,
The solution is in play.
the solution is in play. And here's the problem, is that the solution is going to include cryptocurrency.
Hang on, we're getting there. You're getting ahead of us there, White Rabbit.
Okay. All right, well, I'll let you run a little more.
Well, one of the next things, I don't know if y'all saw this last time, and this is something I have not had time to dig into. One of these links takes you to cases filed that are sealed. It gives you instructions on the coloring of it, how to use it, how to go to each state and look into it, but it's telling you how many cases have been filed that were sealed. These are sealed cases.
Cases
The
about
difference in the color well, we don't know. That's the thing I've got to go digging into, because I don't completely understand if these are
what?
what they're based
Are they
on.
lawsuits or cases against?
Right, because they're sealed, you get very little information.
Right.
But it's listed by the district court when it was filed, and they're color coded. There's instructions in here which tell you that if it's labeled yellow, there was a resignation. If it was pink, it was related to human trafficking. If it's red, there was a resignation related to human trafficking in that case. So, and no, I have not had time to go down this rabbit hole yet and dig in because there's a
That's a,
lot of digging to be done there.
that's a lot of time to invest into trying to see what they're showing here, and
Yeah, there's a lot there.
yeah.
Well, this is your crypto thing here. You know we've looked at the national debt clock before. Or remember this little secret window
Uh-huh.
that we used to go to up here in the right hand corner?
Yeah.
It changed.
Okay,
A
so
declaration.
now it's no longer the gold the wheat harvest scene showing an angel in the upper left. I actually have the old image, but angel in a bubble in an orb up in the upper left hand corner, and then it showed something that looked like a golden domed city out in the distance, like Oz almost. And then yeah, so it changed to this federal
Well, and
before
it says in
banking cartel.
accordance with the power granted to we the people by the Most High God, we assert our right to secure our life, liberty, and property. In doing, we find it necessary to undo the injustice brought upon us by a secret private banking conglomerate known as the Federal Reserve, the Fed, has systematically stripped the wealth of our nation and placed it into the hands of an elite few, using a carefully crafted criminal scheme dating back over 100 years. While posing as a federal agency, they operated as an unlawful money laundering and racketeering debt and interest exchange that has no actual reserves. Because of the fraudulent nature of their enterprise, we the people seek full reparation and restitution of assets acquired from the inception of the conspiracy to counterfeit the US dollar. We expect these fortified assets to be remitted toward the establishment of the USA Sovereign Wealth Reserve, which is exclusively owned by the American people. On this fourth day of July 2025, we the people declare our independence from the Federal Reserve Bank. This is part of the reason it's now Washington City and not Washington, D.C. When you click on the free book download, I've already downloaded it, but we're going to look at it here because it's easier to get to.
What did it say?
This brings up a whole PDF.
What did it say? USA
Huh?
sovereign. It said USA sovereign wealth. What? Sovereign wealth reserve. Okay.
USA Sovereign Wealth Reserve.
All right. Go ahead.
That's all explained right here in this document.
Okay. So here's
And
this is kind
the
of like
new
part of
money revolution.
the solution. All right. Let's see the
Yeah,
solution.
here's your solution. These are your chapters. It tells you each page what it's about. Well,
Den
we're
of
going to go on. A den of thieves. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast all of them that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of the money changers. It talks about the second temple in Jerusalem. And it talks about the Fed is today we are witnessing a money changing crime of monumental proportions. Every day, our labor and life energy is being stolen from us by a system that was designed to transfer the wealth of all working people to a small elite class of money overlords, whose only desire is power and control with nothing to offer but misery and bondage. It explains the old school tally system, how they use sticks, um, honest money reinvented. It goes into here the Bank of England, how all that come about, how we were sold as collateral, your your birth certificate, when a ship is in port in the water, it is a birth.
and goes
You
to the
have to give a
dock.
bill of lading for the contents. Yeah.
The
Okay.
ship is it goes to
Those
the dock to
words.
be birthed. Yeah. It goes to the bank. Goes the ship goes to the bank and to the dock in order to be birthed. There's a
Hey,
whole story behind
Shannon.
that. Did Shannon make it in here?
Yeah.
Well, hot
Yeah, I see
dog.
her down there at the bottom.
Oh,
This
this
is
here.
where you get into the difference in admiralty law and maritime law. All of this is laid out in this document. Failed fiat currencies. It shows you how bad they failed. The silver swindle of the Roman error and the USDC error.
Hold that thought.
Greenbacks. It goes into the union.
Hold that thought just a second, Roxy. Let's recognize Shannon Dooley. Shannon is the co-host of the Supernatural Show, and we started the show today. And I've been under, you could just say, a lot of stress and running in circles. And I forgot to send Shannon the link, and so we just got going in the show, and all of a sudden I said, "Wait a minute." I think we forgot to send Shannon the link to the show. And you had already said you were going to be here. Is your mic working, Shannon? Uh-oh. The mic ain't working. Let me see if I can help her out.
Refresher.
Yeah, I'm going to see on this side if I can help her out. See what is going on. Reconnect mic.
No bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. No, Shannon. No bueno.
Let's
It's
see.
been one of them days, Shannon.
Looks like she's got a Yeti mic connected. Yeah, got the Yeti mic.
Yeah, Chris. If you just downloaded that, Chris, it is insane.
Let's see. Let's see. We got.
All right, well, you go ahead and work on Shannon's mic right quick.
All right, yeah, you go ahead.
The crime of 1873. An ounce of silver for a day's labor. During a 100-year period from 1773 to 1873, a single ounce of silver paid for the average laborer's daily wage. Today, it would take nearly 10 ounces of silver for a day's wage. The war on the price of silver has lasted 150 years. If only 2% of the world's population bought 1 ounce of silver, the true price of silver would be revealed, which is between 10 to 20% of the price of gold. All right, then we go into Fed debt money dollars. And it goes into the Federal Reserve System was established in 1913 as a master-class financial scheme, an enigma so diabolical and obscure that for over 100 years it has foiled any attempt to decipher its disastrously code of destruction. These founding fathers of deception knew that their plan was the perfect formula to deceive and compromise the politicians of the day, to turn over the keys of the magic kingdom of wealth creation. The plan was to create a Ponzi scheme at the highest level, a never-ending cycle of debt and interest to trap the American people into a life of servitude, to take the government its sacred duty to coin money and regulate the value thereof. This thing goes on and on. There's 20 more pages of it. It explains in detail when, how, and who has been putting us in this debt system. How it
Yeah.
has caused our dollar to deflate.
So, two things. One, Shannon, give us a test to see if we can hear you yet. Nope. Nope.
No bueno.
No bueno. Let me hit reconnect mic, see if that does anything. I think we can hear you now. Maybe. Nope. Gosh.
No, no bueno.
Might refresh your screen. All right. So, okay. I can only tell you, and I can only attribute it to, honestly, my connection with the Holy Spirit. I'll just say it like that. That's the best words I've got. My intuition, my instinct. You know what I was saying earlier about how I am concerned that they are baiting us, basically. Now, the question, if they're baiting us, we've got to ask the question, who's baiting us? Who wants us to agree to this system being burnt down and building a new one? This is who I think it is. It's the same people that built the current system, of course. That means that the same people that built the Ponzi scheme are now telling us, hey, look, there was a Ponzi scheme, and we need to burn it down and create a new one. And we're going to call this one the New World Order, but we're not going to mention that. We're going to use other fancy words and things. My intuition says, or listening to what's being said in my head, tells me that the same people. Now, I know that it is said, and I'm gonna use this word once because they also on this platform. The Jews have been kicked out of many countries, yet somehow magically they're still running things. Now, I think back to Nazi Germany and how that went down, and how all of a sudden here we are so many years later, and the same people that they claimed were being destroyed in Germany, that's the history we have, because that's all we have is what they told us. The same people are magically now back in power. Now, why would we not assume the same people are going to do the same rope-a-dope again? And I don't know if I'm right for sure. I would rather be wrong. I'd end up being in this situation a lot with the work that I do. But I think that's probably what's happening, guys. I think that is this website, along with other websites, is what I can see with the eyes that I've been given to see is we're being rope-a-dope by the same people again. And they're see it in your head like you got a big, huge group of, we'll call it sheep. And they're in this field over here where you've had them and running in different areas of the field for many years. And you want them to go to the other field. It's the simple way of looking at it. But you've got to convince the leaders of the herd, the leaders that are in the sheep herd, which there are leaders in a sheep herd, you've got to convince them to head and run through the gate that you're going to open. And you've got to give those leaders logical, reasonable sounding reasons to a sheep, or to, in this case, it's human beings, it's us. You've got to give them reasons to want to go run through that gate to the other place where you want those same sheep to go run to. And at the same time, you only want a certain number of those sheep to end up over there, because you're going to call the herd because they're a little bit too large to manage easily. And that's one of the problems, is that the herd has gotten too big. So you're going to, in the process of moving from the one fenced in area to the new fenced in area, one of the processes is, and we can see this is going on in public right now in our world, the pack of sheep there's culling going on. We can see, if you can't see it, I don't know, you must be blind. But there's culling going on, and we're being showed the green grass that's over there. The gate ain't open yet, but it looks like there's maybe green grass over yonder, and the head sheep are looking at this green grass, and they're pondering it and wondering if it might be better over there. And I'm going to be quiet again, but I'm wondering if that's what's going on. I can't help it.
Did we ever get any audio for Shannon? Must
Um,
not have. I'm not hearing her.
Let me check again here. I've got.
Well, it brings you down to this page. This is their solution, the new money revolution. Over on the left, it shows you what they want to set up: private free enterprise, citizens free to create boundless wealth and prosperity in a world of plenty. It would be a bankless card. One of the links on here tell you to go and research credit unions. And like I said, guys, I found like 10 different links yesterday I'd never seen before. And I'm like a notepad and a half in here. Found one while ago. Ain't even got to it yet. But this is a state chartered, no ID required, crypto anonymous, no capital gains tax system. They have JFK on the picture of their $100 bill. I haven't zoomed in and looked at the coins or any of that yet. I haven't got that far. The big bank squeeze. Stop creating debt. Deconstruct the Federal Reserve operations, replacing unfunded debt dollars with asset-backed USA Treasury. See, remember when Doge was doing their thing and he kept talking about all of... There she goes. I heard her.
Yeah, you can hear me. He switched it to my... I don't know what's wrong with my mic. I know. I have
got you now.
Get a new mic.
Computer,
yeah.
Full circle. It all ends where it began in 1913. The creators of the Federal Reserve knew in 1913 that their debt money scam was unsustainable. They planned for a world of total control and ownership of all property and means of communication. The Great Awakening was the furthest thing from their minds. Their plan failed. We the people shall restore life, liberty, and property. This thing just keeps going. I mean, there's still like 8 more pages of de-evolution, the transference to another, surrender of power with local authorities.
Are you seeing where they're saying what the actual solution is? Maybe you're already down quite a ways, but what's the solution? Is the solution crypto?
It's a digital currency that is pretty much anonymous, so to speak, kind of like a Bitcoin wallet.
It says that in here?
Oh, see, yep.
That's crypto.
This is giving me such
creepy vibes.
Yeah, get on the digital coin system, guys.
Wait a minute, hold it right here. It says on the screen right now, it says liberty versus tyranny. It says CBDC prison. They thought they could corral the people into a digital prison. What they don't know. So over on the left, it says citizens free to create boundless wealth and prosperity in a world of plenty. State chartered, no ID required, crypto anonymous. Oh, it's still crypto. Oh boy.
See, it's we're going to down the whole, digital system, but you still want us to go digital financially. So
they're saying CBDC bad, but this crypto over here good.
Just fine.
It's just repainting the same goat. It's sickening. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but we're not going to be able to stop it, other than what we can do to expose it. And y'all guys sharing this kind of information, sharing this video, getting the information out there any way possible. But these guys, like I was saying earlier, my gut feeling is this is the same actors. The same actors offering to burn down this one, and they're making the pastures look greener. They've been using the words above, like I was, to corral them, and then offer up a better solution that looks nice. And probably in the very beginning, it'll probably have features and attributes about it that will seem very attractive. But ultimately, if it's digital, you don't have it in your hand. See, 1,000 years ago, even 200 years ago, people in America, their their value, their money was in their what they had. Like how many cows do you have, or how many tractors do you have, or how many workers do you have that help you and support you? How many family members do you have? How big is your family? All these things were assets, and it ultimately meant how much wealth you had. Then they switched it to, uh, it went more like to coinage, like gold coins and different things like this, hundreds of years ago, maybe even thousands. I mean, it's like this scheme. They just keep running the same scheme with a different face on the monkey every time.
Well, I think a big thing that a lot of us believers, who have read the Bible and Revelations and all these things, we question a lot. How could the elect even be deceived? Here you go. It's this whole movement of the MAGA, okay, which we know what MAGA means, and that's,
Magic.
high warlock. It's magic.
Mhm.
They are playing off of all of those things that the believers in Jesus want to hear, but they still are redirecting you into the same exact path. It is all a play on words. It is psychological warfare. This is how the elect is being deceived. We're already, people who have already believed in this current administration are already seeing how, just like every other player in this, world stage, goes back on their word and does exactly what they said they weren't going to do. And that's happening a lot already. And people are getting upset. That's because it's still the same path, it's still the same system. It's just wordplay. And that's where it's so important. Psychological warfare is the number one warfare weapon. Not blasting nukes, not guns, not any of those things. It is psychological. So just think about, this is such a prime example of all these things. It's hidden. It makes you think you're getting some, knowledge that, oh my gosh, I've gotten the rabbit hole. I'm, going down this, and all these things sound so great. And oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. But it's still leading you down the same path, and
Yeah.
that's where it gets dangerous. And they set it up to where you're thinking you're finding this magical information, and it's all the good guys, but again, it's all wordplay, and it's all just playing off of the things that are wrong in this world, that have been already going on for quite some time, but it's duping you into going into the same path and into exactly what they want, into this NWO nightmare.
And that's what they've done over and over throughout time. And the same people that Jesus kicked out of the temple, the money changers, those are the same people that this rhetoric is talking about kicking out. It is the Federal Reserve and these people that run it. So we're going to kick the Jews out again. But it's the Jews kicking the Jews out.
Yeah. Yep.
But they're not going to kick them out. All they're doing is getting us to run to a different field, to a different playground with a different set of rules. And once we get there, because it's going to look green, there's going to be money tied that you're going to get every month. You're going to get a monthly installment. It's going to look good, and it's going to suck the majority of the sheep right through the gate.
This is how they are going to bring about the Noahide laws. And when you understand how the Noahide laws work, we are all not even human in the eyes of this law. Because especially any of us who believe in Jesus Christ, to them that's considered idolatry.
Goyim is what they would call us.
Right. And that it's going to sound so great, and people are going to be like, yeah, restore order and morality and all these things, until they realize, oh wait, we're the cattle, we're the goyim.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. when you listen to all of this, is like, I mean, with the whole Abrahamic Accord stuff that they're about to try and pass and push, and all of these things, this is a bad direction, guys. It sounds great, but it's not.
But it is something that we need to be aware of, like what Roxy's doing, and is really paying attention to it. And
Know thine enemies.
yeah, no,
Yes. Amen.
And you've got to pay attention to it, but you've got to be wise. You've got to be wise. You've got to, don't ever make any decisions until you have to. Don't make any jerk emotional choices. You've got to, and don't follow the herd. We're gonna see the herd running to this. We're gonna witness it. The herd will run to this, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Have you noticed the average? I mean, I hate to say it, and I don't say it because I'm putting anybody down. But have you noticed the average IQ level in the public right lately? It ain't. We ain't dealing with all the sharp shovels. Unfortunately, we're not. And
Well, do you know, just a side note, when the exact within 48 hours, when they started pushing that you needed 8 glasses of water a day, it was within 48 hours of this legislation going through that they needed to add fluoride to water. You know, the one thing that blocks your pineal gland?
Oh, you mean back originally? You mean back when they did that?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing, when the government and everybody else started pushing the propaganda that you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day,
And you
blah, blah, blah.
And you need to get the lead paint out of your house.
Yep, get the lead paint out your house, drink the fluoride, and the aluminum went in deodorant was exactly when they started trying to block your pineal gland.
Yep. Because if you're not doing things to be able to make sure your single eye that Jesus spoke about, if you're not doing things to try to eat better, try to do better things, you're not going to have the ability to be able to see this stuff. And that's what they don't want you to see, because when I see and I talk about these things, I'm seeing with my spiritual eye. It's the eye that exists in my arc, that it sits between my eyes. It's right in there. They don't want us to have that ability to use that. They want us to be blind, and they want us to use our 2 eyes on the front of our head that are liars, just like the 2 liars and thieves that were on each side of Christ. They were both liars and thieves. We have the same thing in our forehead. We have the crista galli right between your eyes. If you look up the ethioid bone with the crista galli, you have literally the cross with the 2 thieves on each side right in your forehead. It's built into you. All this truth, everything's in us, but they want to block it, and they're doing all kinds of things. The water, the frequencies in the air, all the bombardment with all of this deception. It's just,
well, and they took everybody's attention span and turned it down to about 30 seconds off of a TikTok video.
to a TikTok. Yep.
When you go out in public, everybody is just zoned into a phone. I mean, they're bumping into you. They're doing it while they're driving cars. They're obsessed with it now.
You know, too, I thought for quite some time, where's the catch with the Kennedy who's in charge of the nutrition stuff, when all the campaigning was going, everything was going, all the things he said sounded so great about getting all the chemicals out of our food, all these things. And I kept going, where's the catch? Where's the catch? Where's the catch? Until I saw a video of him talking to Congress about how everybody in the next 4 years will be wearing wearables to track all of your health stuff. So that's what it's like, it sounds so great. It sounds like it's exactly what we need. Yes, we need to be healthy again. Yes, we don't want these chemicals. Yes, we are trying to get back to whole foods, but you need to wear a wearable device. It's going to be in your clothes. It's going to be in all these things. So no matter what, if it touches your skin, it can monitor your health. What French toast? There's the catch.
In reference to that, Roxy and I started reading a book yesterday. See, because instead of depending on solutions they're giving us, like technology and a lot of things, pharmacia and all these things, we should be turning to nature. But the problem is that we're blind to what nature is, and we're blind to the language of nature. We're blind to when you look at the tree, what is it saying to you? When you look at the walnut, what is it saying to you? When you look at anything that's in nature, what is it saying? It has a language and it is speaking, but we don't know it. So I've explained quite a bit of this before, but Roxy and I started reading the book yesterday, and we actually recorded us going through together and reading the book. It was called The Signature of All Things. You're welcome to look it up and read it for yourself. But what we did was, as we went through it, we got chapter 1 and chapter 2 done, and we recorded it. And
it's only 500 years old.
Yeah, the book is literally between 450, 500 years old. And it was translated from Dutch.
High Dutch.
And it's still a little funky to read, but as we go through, we define and discern the words and things that we don't understand, just like you really should be doing with the Bible. And we got the chapter 1 and chapter 2. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is a book from a very wise seer 450, 500 years ago that explains the signature of everything in nature, or at least that seems like where it's going. And he explains it at a deeper level than even I've explained some of it at. Yet it's understandable once you get far enough, a chapter or two in, you can start seeing what he's explaining. Those are, if you're a member on YouTube, on Logic Before Authority, remember that channel. They're already there for you to see there, and I'll be uploading them today on the website. It's for you to see if you want to see our version, and I'm sure we'll be coming out with some public conversation about it as well. But the point is get back to is that they want to offer all these solutions, like JFK Jr. or whatever, not Jr., but what's his name again?
RFK.
RFK,
yeah.
Robert's kid. Robert's kid, not John. Because to my understanding, JFK Jr. is still with us.
Apparently, right?
So is
so is Robin Williams. He's Uncle Pappy on TikTok.
Yeah.
Robin Williams is Uncle Pappy on TikTok. It's him. He's got the same marks on his face, under his lip. He's got an age spot. Got an age spot on his shoulder. It's the same dude. And this isn't unusual because I realized this was a thing when I found out Elvis was still alive. What they do is they kill the character that they own, the marketing character, the name, like Elvis Presley. That was just a marketing name. It explains why most of your celebrities do not go by their original names. They go by, I mean, do you think Nicki Minaj was born Nicki
Conway
Minaj?
Twitty ain't Conway Twitty. He took a map and throwed a dart and come up with his name.
There you go.
Because his name is Harold Jenkins.
Right.
Can I ask you guys if you, because speaking on the Elvis thing, right, which a lot of people believe Bob Joyce is
Yes.
actually Elvis, right? Have you guys seen his X or whatever account? He's constantly putting these little videos of like, if you know, you know, and he's doing that whole like, Jim Morrison to Rush Limbaugh thing, and he does a lot of people where he's showing you it's not who you think it is. Oh, look, is this the same
Well, Lady
guy?
Gaga, Little Miss Devil herself is Amy Winehouse.
Oh, why? That would not surprise me at all.
Same mold, same beauty marks.
And Elvis is also the guy that played the character of Elvis. He has a channel on YouTube too that's called John Cotner, JONCOTNER, John Cotner or NOR, one of the two. John Cotner, and you want to listen to Elvis sing after he was dead as Elvis, you can go in there and listen to it. Not all of his stuff is still on there because he's took down some of it, but there is some stuff on there last time I looked. But yeah, nothing is as it seems, guys. They just kill off the old thing and then present you a new thing. And that's exactly what's going on now. Because now, instead of Robin Williams, you've got Uncle Pappy.
Well, and back during COVID, I know that everybody remembers that back when we were going through that and we were on lockdown, like there was no new TV shows and blah, blah, blah. There was a big Actors Guild strike because the actors were complaining that with new AI, when they had originally signed a contract for their character, and I put that in quotation marks, for central casting. Go ahead, Mr. Super Dave. You opened my eyes up to a whole new thing with that. But they were complaining that Hollywood would be able to take AI and use their likeness to put them in a movie, whether they participated and made $1 off of it or not. This will take you all the way back to Prince, who I believe is Cat Williams, by the way. Shout out if Cat listens. Love you, dude. Anyway, I honestly think Cat is Prince. But
I'm not sure on that one. But I
don't know, but he's pretty close. They got the same type of mindset, different character. But this is why Prince changed his name from Prince to that symbol. It was all about them being able to control him and his music and his media and his catalog of stuff that he had created. And that's why he changed his name.
And he couldn't beat it, so he ended up having to die. But I highly doubt he's dead. I doubt Michael Jackson's dead. Whitney Houston, I doubt she's dead. I mean...
Well, some of them I do believe end up to be sacrifices. Whitney Houston, like there's a few that I'm like, okay, I don't know if they're
really
I
think the Boulay got Whitney.
Yeah, but the ones like there's a whole slew of this. And you know what's really interesting is there are a lot of, okay, again, the Kevin Kavanaugh thing, right? This blew me away because in real time on television during this court hearing or whatever, the guy is switching from himself to this lady. It's like he comes in, says something, then he's gone, and then this lady comes in and says something. They're not in the room at the same time, but literally in front of the whole nation. In real time, they straight did this to us, to our face, and laughed in our face, like, haha, same guy, same person, But they've been doing that for so long, and you find out things like, Matt Damon or whatever.
So if they do it with people, they will do it with corporate people, corporate ideas, other methods like that.
But this connection is interesting, and this is what I like to note. When you watch certain movies, right, you see a lot of character, a lot of people, a lot of actors playing the same type of character a lot. Like, the whole Born movies with Matt Damon, and he's playing this CIA character, that he doesn't know, and it's all this stuff that's underground, like CIA stuff and assassins and all these things. You actually find out later that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and all them, they actually are in the CIA as actual agents. So it's like there's a dual role in a lot of the entertainment industry, that they're working in these ABC governmental like factions and portraying that on the screen all the time.
It makes sense, because if you had somebody that was a professional at pretending to be someone else, because a professional liar, you would want them on your CIA agency as well.
Well, and it is too. It's a form of programming, to just. Again, they're always bound by oath to show you and so you give your silent consent of everything they're doing. And all these movies, they're just programs. It's what they're even called. It's a program.
Yep.
So when you're seeing these characters playing the same kind of guy all the time,
and they call it casting. Like you do go for casting on a role. It's casting, like spell casting. It's all
exactly. It's like and then of course you can go down the whole rabbit hole of the whole clone thing and how so many of these guys are thought to be really just clones because they all have so many similar features and blah blah blah. And it's a very interesting rabbit hole to really go down into the entertainment industry to see how actually connected they are in government factions. And people think they're not making $20 million on a movie just because they're that good. Okay, there's I'm sorry, but no way.
Miss Kim just gave me John Cotner's channel. It's called John Cotner, JONCOTNER 1835. It didn't used to have the 1835 on it, but it must have updated.
JONCOT. Spell it again.
JONCOTNER 1835, and that's on YouTube. But you can't play his music, even though he's just supposedly some guy, just a random dude that ain't of us on YouTube. You can't play his music on his channel like you can other people that are just making up their own stuff because it ain't copyrighted, right? Well, guess who owns the copyrights on all of John Cotner's stuff? Sony, the same people that owns all of Elvis's. So he still can't escape, even with death. They still want his voice.
Well, right? This when this happened, this really kind of struck a chord. But before James Earl Jones died, he sold the rights to his voice to Disney because they own the Star Wars franchise now.
Wow.
So he sold his voice to Disney. So no matter what, they can have him be, James Earl Jones' voice for whatever purposes they want.
I am your father.
Yeah. And it is.
He can be the father forever.
Kiss my booty. Still though.
Most definitely. Just a second.
You imagine? I mean, there's like that Black Mirror episode too, where again the actor's likeness can be stolen, kind of thing. Where this lady, her life is being lived out by an actor on some, like a Netflix type streaming thing, and it's like everything that happened that day is now on the episode, and then it's Selma Hayek playing her, and then they find out it's actually like an AI likeness on an AI likeness on an AI likeness of this storyline, but here's the actual real person. It's just kind of a bizarre thing, but all of these likenesses were in contract sold to this AI company to be able to generate whatever the heck they wanted.
Well, and I caution parents. I don't know if anybody's listening. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, do not put their pictures on social media. Do
Please.
not put their pictures on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I know you want to show everybody how cute your kid is because I got cute grandbabies, but I ain't putting their face online. You can sign a thing at their school that says the school does not have the right to put them in any photos they post. We already had an issue with a teacher last year who decided to put my grandbaby in a. She's like, well, I didn't want to exclude him from the pictures. Well, when you post it, black his face out.
Yeah.
Because the pervs in the world go out there and do screen grabs on those facial images and then turn around and take your child and put your child in those type of videos that are disgusting.
Exactly.
It looks like your child. And let me tell you something. There are people in this world that don't even have computers in their house because they do things like we do. We speak out against what's wrong. And some of those people won't even have a personal computer in their home for fear of that type of stuff getting sent to their computer to frame them. They can take a picture of that person's child, make one of those videos, load it on that person's computer, and completely frame them for doing that to their child. Do not put images of your children online.
And also to those who have teenagers, this is a really important subject matter because what they call it sextortion. And again, teenagers who have their accounts on social media, any picture that you put up there can be done, used in the same fashion and been, put on some kind of deep fake, corn material, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's becoming such a horrible thing that a lot of teenagers are taking their lives because of this.
Well, and they end up on these corn websites. There's multiples of them. And I read an article the other day that said, I think it was 40, 60 or 60-40% of the actual content, which just in case you're ever curious, go look up which one the two big companies are for that and who owns them. It'll lead you right back to that place with a flag with a star on it. They own them. They're propagating it. They're pushing it.
And I will say something too about just the corn industry in itself. It goes beyond the fact there's a lot of addiction issues with this amongst any kind of person. A lot of people in this world, even if they love Jesus or not, whatever their morality stance is, still end up getting an addiction to this. And it's not even so much of that you're watching that content that's the issue. It's the fact that you are propagating trafficking, human trafficking, because
Yes.
these people who are involved in these are being trafficked. They're being, even if they sign a contract and think they know what they're getting into and all these things, what is done to them throughout their career is horrific. And it is a form of trafficking. And I guarantee you, a lot of those people are, on screen that you think are a certain age are not. So it's not even so much the morality of watching it itself. It is you're giving in and propagating the human trafficking issue. And it's just become so rampant and so insane and so available in this technology that you don't even think about that. It's like the last thing you think about, but that's something I just want to put on everyone's heart. I am not here to judge you. I don't know if that's in your world, or if you know someone in your family who's like that, anybody in that situation. Just know that, all is forgiven, love is righteous through Jesus, all that kind of stuff. But just know that when you do partake in that, you are propagating human trafficking. I just really wanted to say that. That is really on my heart right now. So it's not so much that you're a horrible person if you've gone out and you watch these things, or
They're
it's just
hijacking your dopamine.
right.
It's all
And
about the dopamine hijack. Everything in your body is a chemical. This was my cycle week for my ivermectin and my fenbendazole, and I started it last Friday. And let me tell you, Daniel knows. Monday, I could not stop crying. It was crazy. Like Sunday was very emotional. Monday, I couldn't get off the couch. But this tells you how simple things can mess with your body chemistry. And being addicted to TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or the corn sites or anything, it's a dopamine hijack.
Yeah.
And when they hijack your dopamine, it's kind of like a drug addict. You hear about people that are addicted to strong drugs and they can't stand it. Like you don't tell a drug addict when they get up in the morning that they ain't gonna be none. They gonna get up and find a way to make it happen. They gonna go steal their mama's weed eater or the neighbor's car or whatever to make it happen. It will drive you crazy. We talk about these viruses and parasites that take over ants and make these ants do things. Same theory. That dopamine hijack is just like drugs.
oh yeah,
It causes you. I mean, I've seen children who are so used to these digital iPads and phones and Xboxes, and you take them away from them, they lose it. They lose it. And that's all this is about is dopamine hijack, because it throws off everything in your body and throws you into a whole mental conflabbery. Because me detoxing this past weekend through my parasite cleansing, that tells you what the parasites are doing to the sugar in your body, which affects your dopamine and your serotonin. And that's why on day 3 or 4, you feel like you are the most emotional basket case you can ever be. Like my boyfriend, I'm like, listen, all I can tell you is there's a whole new personality now added to the list with this stuff, because it's a whole new sort of crazy. I just couldn't stop crying. I was apologizing, like, I know I'm acting crazy, and I don't know why I'm acting crazy.
I was just like, just make it through to tomorrow. Tomorrow could be better.
It was bad. Like, I laid on the couch
About
for
sounded
11
suicidal.
hours straight and just cried. But I'm all good now. And it wasn't a mental breakdown. It was just that I had got off track with my ivermectin. And I know I preach about it, everybody, so somebody can kick me in the comments. But I was late on doing it. And it screwed me up because...
Okay, when what happens too is if you haven't gotten rid of all the eggs yet, because it takes, I don't even know how long it takes, but if you haven't gotten rid of all the eggs yet, with this kind of stuff, or it's maybe even a combination of this kind of stuff, they're going to start they're going to be hatching, and they're going to be reintroducing the chemicals that you had gotten away from back into your system that are causing you to crave sugar and causing you to go emotionally cuckoo. And so once you start down this path, you kind of have to finish it, I think.
well, and I was going to say it is, I think, important to continue, because no matter what, especially if you have pets like me, I have like a zoo
Or
in my
you
house,
eat that's bought in the store.
Or you eat, or you like anything in this world, it's going to reintroduce itself. So,
Well,
it's
if you
something
drink
that you
canned
gotta keep.
drinks, I beg you, anybody out there drinking canned drinks, when you bring those canned drinks home, wash them
Oh,
and then
yeah.
pour it in a glass.
Mhm.
One of the parasites that rats leave behind. Okay, my ex-husband worked at one of those places that sell those drinks. We're not going to say the name out loud. Just starts with a P and ends with an I, so you figure it out. But he worked at one of those when we first got married. He worked in the warehouse where they loaded trucks. And, he got drinks at a deal. It's probably how I got hooked on Mountain Dew. But he would bring home like cases of canned drinks, especially like the ones that had got, pushed across the warehouse and one busted and they were all sticky. Well, instead of washing them, they'd sell them to their employees at a discount. Well, what does a sticky caramel attract to it? Rats. Well, what do you think they were doing in the back of that warehouse? Yeah, roaches, bugs, ants. And so they'd be sticky when they come home and we washed them. But imagine how many of them crawl across the ones in a warehouse waiting to be loaded in a truck. There is actually a parasite that a cat puts out because it doesn't want to have to chase the rat too far. So it actually puts out a parasite when it sprays or pees in its, so when the rat walks across it with the pad of its foot, the parasite is ingested into the rat, which causes the rat to not be scared of the cat. So the cat can catch the rat easier. And that's all done through a parasite in a cat's urine.
Crazy.
I just have a real quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, when you were talking and I was listening, I just looked over at the screen, and all of a sudden there was a like half ring of light that came right above me and like flashed. And I didn't know if you guys saw that or if like that was caught on. Like that just was insane.
It should have been caught on video.
I was like, did anyone else see that? Or is just, am I just going crazy? That's very possible. But that just kind of.
Have you not had your parasite cleansed, Shannon?
I take that tomorrow. That's my day.
Well, and I ran across. I've been down the parasite rabbit hole for a couple of weeks now because I have a family member who has been diagnosed with Morgellons disease, which is an actual parasite.
Yes.
And I didn't realize this until all of this come about, and I went to research. And I lost my dad a few years ago to brain cancer, glioblastoma. Well, about a year and a half or ish before he died, he would sit on his chair and he would like take one foot and scrub the other leg. He's like, oh my God, there's fleas in this house. There's bugs in this house. He would take Raid. He would spray himself. He would spray the carpet. He would get a magnifying glass with tweezers and pull like these fibers out of his arm.
I remember.
Didn't know what it was then.
Wow.
Now I know what it is. Morgellons disease is a parasite. It's one of the few parasites that can cross the blood-brain barrier. 2 years later, I lost my dad to glioblastoma. I can point you to the scientific facts that the majority of the cancers that we deal with are based off of parasites and what they do to the chemical engineering in your body.
And it can be fungal, or it can be more of a biological parasite. But I think it's the parasitic nature of things seems to be probably the cause of most of the diseases that people are dealing with right now. And I want to say this real quick. This stuff right here, there is a better solution than this. There is a natural solution that's in nature, but I don't know what it is.
White pine needle tea.
Maybe that's
it's white pine needle tea. It's called sumarin.
But there's something that has to be a natural, so we can get completely away from something being made in a factory. Okay, by people.
We fixing to have the answers to all of that. I spent a obscene amount of money on some books this past week. I'm waiting on delivery now. And yes, the information is available online, but they could flip the switch on this tomorrow. And I wanted books with written words in my hands that I could hold and I could pass to my children and try to teach these things to my children, because everything in nature is for you. It tells you that in the Bible. I don't care what religion you are, whether you're Muslim or Catholic or Jewish, or if you're a Norse Viking god. It tells you in your religion that every plant in nature is for you. It is there to cure something.
Right.
Black walnut husk. White pine needle tea. There's all kind of anti-parasitic. One of the reasons we're seeing so many more parasites wreaking havoc in our systems today, 60 or 100 years ago, when you got fresh fruits and vegetables, they had not been sitting in a warehouse filled full of preservatives with a GMO seed so it would last 2 months before it got to you. Anybody who eats a fresh fruit or vegetable, if you eat anything and you don't wash it before you eat it, you're asking for parasites.
You're eating parasites.
You're eating live parasites.
And you need to do
when a fly flies by and lands on something, it leaves a parasite, folks.
You need a brush or something to really, like the fruit that's coming out of the grocery stores. they're laden with fly eggs, and God only knows what other kind of parasite eggs and stuff. You're eating literal maggots from the grocery store. Okay,
Vinegar.
That was some PTSD right there. Sorry.
yeah, I know it disturbs the crap out of me too, but it's
I've quit eating meat.
now your body is able through stomach acids and stuff to take care of killing most of that and everything, but I just rather clean my fruit better, I think, and not have to realize the fact that I'm eating.
Get it locally. Get it from somewhere where you've
Locally.
seen it grown at a fruit stand.
It's
Because
like,
if
well,
not, these big companies, they've got these big hothouse farms. These seeds are genetically modified so that that fruit will not rot like it normally does. That way, when you got tomatoes in the garden and you go pick it, if you don't eat it in a couple of days, it's going to go bad. Our grandparents were like that. When they grew their own garden, you eat that tomato. If you didn't eat it in a couple of days, you put it in a jar. You made stewed tomatoes out of it and you used it later for sauces. You did not leave those fresh fruits and vegetables laying around. Okay. Now I'm going to take you down another road. We talking about all these things living in these fruits and vegetables. I beg anybody out there that watches our show, go to a grocery store tomorrow, buy an ice cream sandwich, put it in a dish, leave it on your counter and see if a bug comes to it. They will not. I have seen ice cream sandwiches lay in a glass pan on a woman's counter for 99 days, and a fly won't even lie on an ice cream sandwich. It won't mold, it won't decay. You can take a piece of bread out of a loaf of bread and put water on it and squeeze it like a sponge, and it'll go right back to its original shape. That ain't food, folks.
Yeah, we got to be diligent and pay attention for sure. Got a quick little, might say, ad spot that I kind of need to run real quick. We'll be right back, guys. So you have a great idea in your mind, but you have no idea what it's going to take to bring it to life on the internet. I've been there, done that, and have already made all the mistakes. Months of trying to learn how to edit video, build a website, set up a podcast, or building a live show on 10 platforms at once. And the learning curve can be long, daunting, expensive, and discouraging. Then there are all of the expenses. Every detail wants money. Every app wants money. Every website wants money. Monthly money. But is there a better way? Maybe even some free ways? Yes, there are. I have spent 15 years of self-teaching myself how to do all of the above. So no matter if you just need someone to point you in the right direction, or if you need someone to jumpstart you forward past years of making mistakes that will cost you lots of time and money, or maybe just years of paying for services that you could have been getting for free like I am. Whatever it is, if you have that idea burning in you and you need someone experienced yet much cheaper than organized companies with high overhead, get a hold of me and I will listen to your dreams and then build you a custom plan to put you on the path to achieving that dream, while saving you time and money, while teaching you how to do it along the way. Otherwise, you will just have to pay someone again and again. Put an end to that and start using Logic's webway services.
I've got one that can see.
And link is on the website, TheSupernatural.Show, where you can easily get a hold of, send me a message basically. And
I think Shannon has to leave us for today.
Yeah, we're all fixing to probably get out of here in a moment. There's a number where you can also text me if you've got something that you already see that I'm doing already that I know how to do. It would be probably the best kind of thing that I could do to try to figure out how to help you and also maybe help myself a little bit. So with that being said, you got to go, Shannon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know you said earlier you only had so much time. But I think we've covered the general subject matter enough for today, anyways. Also, guys, on the website at TheSupernatural.Show, we have, and I would play the commercial, but unfortunately, the audio that I have in my Angel Cruise commercial demonetizes any video. So I've got to redo that commercial, which is okay. But it was supposed to be non-copyrighted, but it was because it's demonetizing on YouTube. Not like I make any money much on YouTube, but $200 a month is $200 a month. But all right, Shannon, we'll let you go, darling, and we're going to go ahead and get on out of here too. Matter of fact, I think we're basically ready to do that. I appreciate all of y'all guys in the comments. If you appreciate this work, I could greatly use y'all guys' support right now. My boat's got a hole in it, you might say. I'll just leave it to that. All the links are down below if you feel like contributing to this work, because we're going to continue. It gets stressful sometimes, but we're going to continue. We will not be defeated. And that's just the way it is. I love you guys. And remember the Shannon, because you haven't been on this new setup as much. Mike might be still hot after we transition. So you can just drop out if you want to here in just a moment. We love you guys. Thank you. And we'll see you Monday, Wednesday, Fridays around 2 o'clock. Lord willing, and the sun comes up tomorrow. We'll see you on Friday.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you for being here. And thanks to Super Dave and Mike Smith for being in the comments and doing what they do. You are supernatural too. Love you guys. See you soon.